Орудие. Выстрел. Второй выстрел.
Номер 632. На запасную навестись. Орудие!
Выстрел!
Орудие!
Выстрел!
Все, ствол опускай.
Russian Defense Ministry report on the progress of the special military operation. In the period from 23 to the 29th of December 2023, the armed forces of the Russian Federation inflicted 50 group strikes and one massive strike with high-precision weapons and unmanned aerial vehicles on the military-industrial facilities, military airfield infrastructure, arsenals, storage sites for artillery ammunition, uncrewed surface vehicles, weapons and military hardware, as well as enemy PAL bases. In addition, the locations of the AFU units, nationalist formations, and foreign mercenaries were hit. All the assigned targets have been engaged. In Kupiansk direction, units the Zapad group of forces have improved the situation along the front line in several sectors and repelled 27 AFU attacks. Aviation and artillery inflicted losses on manpower and hardware of the AFU 10th Mountain Assault Brigade, 25th Airborne Brigade, 95th Air Assault Brigade, 30th, 43rd, 60th, and 115th Mechanized Brigades near Novoslovskoye, Sinkovka, Ivanovka, Petropavlovka, and Kupiansk. The AFU losses over the week amounted to more than 265 Ukrainian troops, 1 tank, 1 armored fighting vehicle, 18 motor vehicles, and 5 field artillery guns. In Krasny-Liman direction, units of the Center Group of Forces supported by aviation and artillery improved the situation along the front line and repelled 13 AFU attacks. In addition, units of the AFU 24th, 63rd, 67th Mechanized Brigades, 100th, 125th Territorial Defense Brigades, 12th Special Operations Brigade, and 5th Ukrainian National Guard Brigade were engaged close to Chervenaya Dubrova, Torskoy, Grigorovka, and Serebryansky Forestry. The AFU losses in this direction amounted to up to 1,205 Ukrainian troops, 6 tanks, 12 armored fighting vehicles, 12 motor vehicles, and 13 field artillery guns. In Donetsk direction, units of the Yug group of forces supported by aviation and artillery liberated Mariinka. Assault detachments of the Southern MD's 8th Army 150th Motorized Rifle Division and 1st Army Corps 5th Separate Motorized Rifle Brigade made the most significant contribution to liberating the city. Over the week, in this direction, Russian troops repelled 34 enemy attacks and inflicted losses on AFU units close to Kurdyumovka, Kleshchevka, Krasnoy, Andreevka, and Georgievka. The AFU losses amounted to more than 1,675 Ukrainian troops, 7 tanks, 13 armored fighting vehicles, 29 motor vehicles, 1 checkmate RM-70 Vampire MLRS, and 49 field artillery guns. In South Donetsk direction, units of the Vostok group of forces repelled 3 enemy attacks. Aviation and artillery inflicted losses on units of the AFU 79th Air Assault Brigade and 72nd Mechanized Brigade and 128th Territorial Defense Brigade close to Novomikhailivka, Vodyanoy, Pereskovivka, and Makarovka. The AFU losses amounted to more than 675 Ukrainian troops, 2 tanks, 4 armored fighting vehicles, 19 motor vehicles, and 15 field artillery guns. In Zaporozhye direction, units of the Russian group of forces engaged in active defense, during which repelled 2 AFU attacks near Verbovoy. Moreover, the Russian armed forces inflicted losses on manpower and hardware of the AFU 128th Mountain Assault Brigade, 33rd, 65th, and 118th Mechanized Brigades near Orkov, Malaya Tokmachka, Belogorod, Novodanilovka, and Rabatino. The AFU losses amounted to up to 475 Ukrainian troops, 1 tank, 6 armored fighting vehicles, 20 motor vehicles, and 12 field artillery guns. In Kherson direction, the enemy's attempts to cross the Dnieper River and to land on the left bank and islands were thwarted by complex fire strikes and preventive actions of the Russian armed forces. In addition, aviation and artillery inflicted losses on manpower and hardware of the AFU 35th, 36th, 38th Marines Brigades, 124th, 126th Territorial Defense Brigades near Borislav, Tyajinka, Tokarevka, Nikolskoye, Zimivka, and Chernobyevka. The AFU losses amounted to up to 390 Ukrainian troops, 25 motor vehicles, 17 motorboats, and 22 field artillery guns. Over the past week, 43 Ukrainian servicemen surrendered, 22 of them in Kupiansk direction. Operational, tactical, and missile troops of the Russian groups of forces eliminated combat vehicles of air defense systems, namely 1 Norwegian-made NASAMS, 1 German-made Iris-T, 1 French-made Crote LNG, 1 S-300 air defense system radar, and 3 U.S.-made N TPQ-50 counter-battery warfare radar stations. Aviation and air defense units intercepted 10 enemy aircraft and 2 helicopters over the week, including 1 MiG-29, 3 Su-27, 3 Su-24, 3 Su-25, as well as 2 Ukrainian Air Force Mi-8 helicopters. In addition, 33 HIMARS and Uragan MLRS projectiles, 4 HARM anti-radiation missiles, 1 JDAM guided bombs, 1 Neptune anti-ship missile, and 251 unmanned aerial vehicles were shot down. In total, 564 airplanes and 263 helicopters, 10,206 unmanned aerial vehicles, 445 air defense missile systems, 14,383 tanks and other armored fighting vehicles, 1,190 combat vehicles equipped with MLRS, 7,564 field artillery cannons and mortars, as well as 16,833 units of special military equipment have been destroyed during the special military operation. The Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation reported on the results of the special military operation for the period from 23 to the 29th of December 2023. The armed forces of the Russian Federation inflicted 50 group strikes and 1 massive strike with high-precision weapons and unmanned aerial vehicles on the military-industrial facilities, military airfield infrastructure, arsenals, storage sites for artillery ammunition, uncrewed surface vehicles, weapons and military hardware, as well as enemy PAL bases. In Kupiansk direction, units the Zapad group of forces have improved the situation along the front line in several sectors and repelled 27 AFU attacks. In Donetsk direction, units of the Yug group of forces supported by aviation and artillery liberated Mariinka. Over the past week, 43 Ukrainian servicemen surrendered, 22 of them in Kupiansk direction.